Hey everyone, Forrest here, and today we're going to take a look at what is new in the Lightroom Classic 14.4 June release. There's a ton of new, cool, exciting features, and we're going to walk through the highlights quickly in this video. I do want to say that if you are a Lightroom user, not a Lightroom Classic user, I've left a special link to a video for Lightroom people down below, as this video is going to focus on Lightroom Classic. All right, the first tool I want to highlight today is the Remove tool, which now has two new functions that I think are awesome. I think the best way to do this is just to dive right in and show you what it does. So I'm gonna grab this photo here of me and a couple friends at a barbecue, take this into the develop module, and then I'm gonna grab the remove tool over here on the right side. Now inside of remove, we know that we can paint over an object to remove it, but there's now a couple new options down at the bottom for people distraction removal and reflection distraction removal. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the people distraction removal and let the computer work. What it just did was it identified any people in the image that it thinks are distracting. And it does a really good job. I've tried this with a lot of example photos, but I think this one's particularly cool for what it does in the end. Essentially, it's just saying, hey, these people may or may not be distracting. Now, at this point, you can make a decision. If you do want to remove everybody that it identified, everybody that it has put highlighted in red, then just click the remove tool and it will proceed as normal. But if you decide you want to keep one of these people, like I'm going to keep my friend here, I don't want to remove him, we'll keep him in the shot. I can click on this little eraser icon right here and hit delete on the keyboard, and that will essentially unmark him for removal. So we just have the one guy back here marked in red. Now, once we're happy, I'm going to go ahead and click the remove button in the lower right, and we'll let it run. You can see there it is. It gives us a little time estimate as it cruises across, and it's gonna do an amazing job. You can see there it goes. I can toggle the eyeball to see our before and our after, but you can see it rebuilt the windows in the house, it rebuilt the leg of the chair, it got rid of the axe handle or dog thrower handle, whatever that was. It did a phenomenal job. Now, moreover, it also gives us options. So I can come over here and click on the eraser where we removed that person, and down here I have variations. Just like any of the generative tools, we can arrow key through and look at the three choices. You can see, that one doesn't look very good, that one doesn't look very good. I think the first one looks the best. But if you're not happy with any of them, you can just generate again, right? There's a generate button, run it a second time, let it run again, and it will give you three new options for filling in that area. That one has a weird chair leg, so let's try another one. That one doubled the chair leg. That one looks pretty good. I think that one looks great. A little bit of a kind of artifact there. Well, we could generate again. Point is, you can keep generating till you're happy with what it finds. There we are, and I think this one looks really good. So you can see very quick, if I turn the eyeball on and off, here's our before, here's our after. I just wanna say, I think we've all kind of grown a little bit accustomed to this in the last couple years since these tools have been available. I can't believe that we take this for granted now, how easy this is. This would have been probably a 2-hour job in Photoshop, or at least an hour job in Photoshop, to go in, make sure the chair legs don't get hurt. It's just amazing how far things have come. So very, very cool, very easy to remove people from the photo. Now, if I go back to the grid view, I'm gonna grab this photo of my mom at the rodeo here, and we're gonna do the same thing. I'll go into the remove tool, we'll go to people, it'll highlight the people. It won't find everybody every time. You can see it missed this guy over here, but same deal. If we don't wanna remove all of these people, I could click their little eraser and hit delete and say, hey, you know what? I wanna keep these guys. I like that guy on a horse. I'm gonna keep this person back there. I do wanna remove that one, I do wanna remove that one, and I do wanna remove this one. So actually, yeah, I think this is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on remove, we'll let it run. And there we go, amazing, right? They're gone, they're cleaned up. Now it didn't find this guy, so we could just use the normal remove tool, right? Just go to the normal remove tool, put it in remove mode, I'll come out over the image, and we'll just paint over this guy here. So real simple, if it doesn't get everybody, it's not a bother. You can just fill in later and clean those areas up. So we'll get painted over this guy here, we'll let go, and we'll click remove and let it run again. So the people removal, very cool for quickly identifying large groups of people. I tried it with family shots, family selfie. You've got a bunch of distracting people in the background. Works great for that kind of thing. Very quick and easy. And again, once we're done, I can go ahead and close the remove tool, and there we are, fully cleaned up and good to go. So people removal, distraction removal is our first thing. Now the other tool in there you may have noticed is reflection removal. So let me go back to to the grid view and I'll grab this photo here, little shot I took just on my phone in downtown Missoula of a little shop. And you can see there's quite a bit of window distracting reflections. So again, I'm gonna go into the develop module, I'm gonna go to the remove tool, and I'm gonna go to reflections. And in here, I'm gonna click on the apply reflection removal and we'll let it run. All right, and just like that, you can see those reflections have been eliminated. Now, a couple things. You have a slider here where we can look and see. Right now, we're at 100% removal strength. So basically, as much of that reflection as Lightroom Classic can remove, it is removing. But we also can go to -100, where you actually can see what it identified as the reflection. So this is me. This is my arm right here. This is my other arm. This is my phone. It has pulled this out of the photo, identified this in the image, and shown it to us. So very cool stuff. I don't really know the practical use case of removing the subject and keeping the reflection, other than it's a pretty cool tool. So I'm gonna bring this back up to about 100. And then I will also point out that there is a quality option. I'm gonna put quality on best, let it run again, just so we can have the best quality result. All right, there we are, it is on best. And now I can click the little eyeball to see our before and our after. Pretty amazing. Now, is it perfect in really, really, really reflective environments? I mean, it's not perfect. Like you can see a little bit of the concrete from the sidewalk, like the water shut off there as well, right? There's little bits that aren't perfect, but like tremendously huge improvement, right? Like before and after. So I highly recommend you play with this. I've used this on water reflections as well. To a varying degree of success, it works. It's one of those things, I think, just play with it. If you've got a reflection, turn it on and see what it does. I've been surprised both at how well it does and at sometimes how it struggles. So definitely, you know, turn it on, toggle it, see how it looks. But really amazing technology to have this within Lightroom Classic with just a single click. I do want to quickly say that this video was actually sponsored by me. I just released the Ultimate Lightroom Classic Organization course. I've been working on this for about 6 months. It's 12 hours almost of like dedicated video content. And if you've ever made a mess in Lightroom Classic, you have missing photos, question marks, you don't know what collections are, you don't even know what a catalog is, you just don't know where to start, I've built this course just for you. So definitely check it out. It's $100 off right now to celebrate the launch because I've been working on it for so long. So you can check it out down in the description, but it is an all-encompassing class on Lightroom Classic on all of the organizational side of things. So catalogs, importing, exporting, all the different organization tools, everything in the library module, and I think you'll really like it. I like to say it's the most comprehensive Lightroom Classic course I've ever taught, and I'm really proud of it. So definitely check it out down below if that interests you. All right, the next new thing is a change to how we apply the certain enhancements to our images. So if you remember, a couple years ago, we got upgrades to Lightroom Classic that allowed us to do denoising with AI. It allowed us to do super resolution where we could double our width and double our height of our image with a single click, and raw details. And these were really cool enhancements for a photo. The problem with them was, though, they were applied to a copy of your image because they were applied destructively. So if you wanted to use AI denoise, you applied it to an image, it would actually make a duplicate of your photo and then apply it to the duplicate. So it never destroyed your original, but you had to have 2 files kicking around, and it wasn't the smoothest experience. Well, that's now changed. If we want to apply raw details or super resolution or denoise, we can do it from within the develop module in the detail panel. So check this out. I'm gonna take this drone shot here, which is a fairly like standard noisy drone picture. Drone pictures are just rough. They're not perfect. But now inside of the develop module, I can scroll down to the detail panel, and inside of detail, I can turn on denoise. And that's gonna immediately apply the AI denoise that we used to have to right click, go to enhance, turn it on there. It made a duplicate, it just wasn't as smooth. You can see here, there it is, it's done. And I can turn the eyeball on and off and see there's our before and there's our after. It crisps things up and removed the noise beautifully. So very nice, we can turn on denoise. Same with super resolution. So if I wanted to double my width and double my height, we can see right now I have a 3500 by 3842 pixel photo. If I turn on super resolution and we give it a couple seconds, we should see 7000 by 7684. So it doubled our width and it doubled our height. Great tool for those of you who like to print your images to get that super resolution. And again, we're not having to deal with a copyright. We don't see -enhanced NR or super resolution or anything like that. It's just done in the detail panel. So very, very cool. Those have moved now. If you're looking for them for where they used to live, they're no longer there. They're inside of detail. The next new thing I want to very quickly show is just that Fuji cameras, I'm a Fuji shooter, have now been added to the tethering options. So if I go up to File and I go to Tethered Capture and Start Tethered Capture, I'm just going to do a Fuji test, click OK. I have my XH2S here. Go ahead and turn this on and plug it in, and we can see as soon as I do that, it should detect, there we go, detect my XH2S, and I can control my shutter speed, my aperture, all of those things. So as a Fuji shooter, I like to be able to tether directly into Lightroom Classic when I need to. It's kind of nice there. They've also added some other cameras to the supported list, but as a Fuji shooter, yay, cool. All right, there are a couple more little tweaks I want to mention with this new software release. Number one is duplicate detection has been improved when importing. So if you have that don't import suspected duplicates turned on, Lightroom Classic's going to do a little bit better of a job of identifying what's a duplicate and what's not. And this is awesome, particularly for those people who have a mess in Lightroom and maybe you're merging multiple catalogs or taking old photos and importing them into your new catalog. Duplicate detection just saves so much time and effort in those situations. Again, my class talks about that if you want to learn more. Cool stuff. Again, check the link down below. In addition, there's also a slew of bug fixes and little tweaks like that. The folders panel loads a little bit faster. XMP data changes get written faster. The standard tweaks we would come to expect. But those big changes to me are, again, non-destructively being able to apply those enhancements, the denoise, raw details, or super resolution. And then, of course, those changes to the remove tool, or updates, improvements, new features in the remove tool. Remove tool is already so powerful. To see it get more stuff is just awesome. So anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. Hope it gave you a little idea of what's new. Definitely go play with this stuff. Try that window reflection removal or reflection removal. It's very, very cool. If you like this video, I would really appreciate you dropping a like down below. Hit subscribe to stay up to date with future videos. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Thanks everybody. I've left a full link to the release notes down below. So if you want to learn everything that's new, not just the highlights like we did in this video, you can check that out down below. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.